live on Facebook any second now.
Geek first.
Oh no.
New intro?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 249th episode.
Woo!
I'm the wee boxer, Travis Snell.
And I'm her caster, Dylan West.
I am the once a time I show up, Kyle Smith.
Mm-hmm. Now, for after 9
Once
people,
a time, did you say?
I show
You were
up.
trying to say once upon a time.
Once
right?
upon a time.
he was half talking, remember?
We got the Spidey crew here today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Spider-Man Retro. As you can see, Kyle's back for an episode or two because one, he was for Patreon users. He did our exclusive Patreon episode that was all about music or favorite artists and favorite albums. So we can catch on here, but this is Kyle's like official Geek First in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, he was gonna guest star no matter what, but good thing he did because we had 2 people canceled today. Taylor was moving in the snow, which is kind of funny.
Sucks to suck.
It's just like
That
classic
gif I
Taylor.
sent of like the guy just tripping for like 5 minutes, I just picture him like carrying a TV and like that's like his life. Even though he only has to walk upstairs.
That would actually be him though.
It would be.
Well, no, the bigger stuff is this is a little personal thing. He has to go to the West Side and get all mats and stuff.
Oh,
That's the
right.
shitty thing, yeah. I bet they have their first major fight today.
Oof, yikes.
Did you drop this? And that was Taylor, by the way. Yeah, my Assassin's
called
Creed
me.
figures. Yeah. Yeah. What is to promote next week? Captain Marvel.
Captain Mar.
Woo!
Are you joining us for that, Kyle?
I'm not gonna be there, but I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm excited. I have to work, unfortunately.
Are you excited for that movie?
I think it'll be good. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how it comes up. Just like another new Marvel movie, which is what I'm excited for.
Right.
Hopefully they take a new.
They're
take
pretty
on
consistent
things.
with making good movies, aren't they?
Yeah, it's true. Like like
Feige.
never seen like
Yeah, it's
I
Feige.
never went to the movie theater to go see Ant-Man because I know it's gonna be good, but like Ant-Man wasn't really my thing. And then
Sure.
when I watched it on Netflix, it was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like it's not gonna be a bad.
So you
movie.
probably still haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, right?
I have seen it.
Oh, on Netflix though?
Yeah, on Netflix, yeah.
So
I
that's
didn't
your
see it.
Ant-Man ritual is do
Yeah.
Netflix. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
See? There you go.
just like it wasn't bad. It wasn't like amazing, but
Yeah.
it was just
Mhm.
good, solid.
But yeah, so next week, Captain Marvel review, that'll be spoiled. For anyone watching live, we started a little later because people were late. We had to watch some trailers. I had to get in a few rounds of Wii boxing. I
Yes.
didn't know the time. You know, Geek vs. Gauntlet is coming back at the end of March, beginning of
It is.
April.
Mhm.
We can't spoil what I'm in, but I need to do some training. You know, I got me and Dylan right now, team champions. I want to be double belted, you know?
Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't?
Think about my ego then. If people think it's bad now, if I got 2 titles, oof.
His ego's
So-
too big.
I don't want to compete at all, but I had to. So.
So soon that'll be coming back. Dylan's running that. Then what else? Thank you for turning our Oscar watch along because over 113 people tuned into that. I was quite surprised.
114 people?
13.
But you said over 113, so I'm asking, like, was it specifically?
Oh, I meant to
114
actually.
people?
Okay, I'm
Because
wrong.
that sounded a little strange.
I meant to say over 100 people, but the number was 113.
Oh.
I could say 113, but I screwed up. When you just say over 100, it sounds better.
Yeah.
But there you go.
I
It's
had
a-
to quiz you on that because that sounded a little awkward.
Yeah, so that was fun, you know, good pace. It was me, Dylan, Emily, and Connor, so it was good.
Yeah.
And thanks because when I have the camera up there, I can't ever tell who's watching. I don't get the numbers. I can see
Yeah.
someone says chat, so thanks for turning that. Golden Geese was last week. Check that out. That was our Oscars, all the best films, everything like that.
Fun.
Yeah, Kyle's still not seen Spider-Verse.
Really? What? Go right now.
It's on
Go see
digital.
Spider-Verse.
Digital. Yeah, I saw the cast. It's coming out next week already. Crazy.
Wow,
on
that is,
digital.
that's
I think
fast turnover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about some news. We've not done a newscast in quite a while, so Kyle, thanks for joining us on
No
this
problem,
one.
man.
We're going to start off like we always do, movies and TV. I'm going to let you guys go. We got 3 trailers to talk about. I'm not gonna bear a lead. For the titles episode, I said Aladdin, Detective Pikachu, or Dark Phoenix, and I said what will be worse. So because I want to know because you know what? Let's start with Detective Pikachu. You know why I want to start that? Because everybody I know in the Geekverse, not counting Taylor, because Taylor likes everything in the world, even Jessica, even Kyle and I have a mutual friend named Shyla who's a huge Pokemon fan. Everyone I know personally is watching these trailers and just going like, this looks so bad, looks awful. But when I go on Facebook or Twitter and I see other people, it seems like people are just loving this trailer, you
Yeah.
know? And I don't get it. I don't think it looks awful. I don't think it's one of the worst movies ever. I feel like when you even have Pikachu just saying, what the hell, or get me the hell out of here, it's just,
Right.
it's weird. And
I don't know. So for me, this is a bit different because, going into the first trailer, I watched it and I was like, wow, this is really strange seeing Pikachu with, you know,
Reynolds.
kind of, just quippy Reynolds. Like, I've seen this, where else have I seen this recently, right? And then, like, a lot of the Pokemon in the live action looked really strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Furgate, everyone was like, oh, there's some Pikachu that, or some Pokemon that had fur on them, so that was a big
yeah,
deal.
Jigglypuff looks super fucking weird, still does.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for me going into this trailer, like, I didn't have, like, I knew what to expect this time around, so I actually enjoyed this trailer a lot more. I think generally, like, a lot of the more Pokemon they showed this time, like, look pretty good for the most part. Some of them look a little strange, like Mewtwo was looking a little off to me. But
really, I thought he looked good because he was just nice and skin and glossy.
He's not as bad as Jigglypuff, don't get me wrong. But I think compared to some of the other ones in the trailer, like I think Green Ninja in the trailer looked fantastic, doing his flips and stuff. And I think for the most part, like I like Charizard's look.
Charizard looks great.
Yeah,
he's the
so
best looking one.
Overall, like I think they looked a lot better in this trailer, even though they had to slip Jigglypuff in there again, the same fucking scene. I'm not excited for that Jigglypuff.
And I will say, because I think last trailer you gave him some shit. The only thing I'm really laughing is the mime. What is the mime's Pokemon's actual name?
Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime. That at the end when he does like the I didn't watch the trailer again with you guys, but when he's running away and he runs into a wall. So far, everything they've done with Mr. Mime, I'm actually loving. I don't know why he's weird. The rest of the trailer,
well, it's funny because that character, like, if you look at it, it's like, man, that character is dated. That character is weird looking. He's very scary and weird. So to see like that kind of being done in this movie is almost like a shout out to how creepy the character like originally is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I actually liked this trailer like a lot more than the last one. I actually liked it generally. I mean, I didn't really find anything particularly funny, but there was nothing in there that was just way over the top stupid humor either. Like I wasn't laughing, but I wasn't.
It wasn't cringeworthy.
Yeah, it wasn't cringeworthy. So I mean,
that.
I'm not super excited for the main guy or like really even Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. Like none of it seems to fit perfectly for me yet. But I don't know. I think I'm going into it now with a more like open mind, and I think it could be a fun adventure. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I'm like excited for it from this trailer, but it's certainly like all the problems I had from the first trailer since there's been more time has passed and like I know what to expect now. I think all those problems I have are just like, oh whatever, I can go with this slide. I'm just gonna go in the movie and see what it is. So I don't know. I'd say I'm like positive on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think? Because I've not asked your opinion at all about this in general. I don't even know where you lay on Pokemon because for a while in the Geekverse group, I was complaining about Pokemon and Kyle gave me shit. So for a while I stopped. But for a while, anytime Taylor and Jessica would post something Pokemon, I would just tag Kyle just so you could feel my pain. So I don't actually know if you like Pokemon in general. Like, what is your life experience with Pokemon?
Did you download Pokemon Go?
I downloaded everyone downloaded Pokemon Go. Like you had to. Like it was the fad. It was the thing to do. It was something different, right? It was really cool. Anyways, I don't want to talk about Pokemon Go.
No.
I want to talk about this trailer.
Detective Pikachu.
So when I watched the first,
Kyle's whole podcast. It's like
He's in the mode.
It's like he's auditioning for us to Kid Kirkland again. Like we've told him that this cast doesn't go good.
Kirkland.
Yeah, continue, Kyle.
So anyways, yeah. So when I guess to answer your first question about my background with Pokemon, is that I don't mind Pokemon. Like I grew up like watching it. I had a Game Boy. I played a lot of the games that were on there originally, and I really enjoyed it. So and like watched the cartoons as a kid. So you know, I was kind of excited to see like what they're gonna do. So when I watched the first trailer, I was kind of off-put of what they were doing, and it's like, oh, he has a voice, and like. Yeah. Should this be happening? Like I remember like watching the anime stuff and like this is nothing like what it should be. But then so I was kind of uneasy about watching this movie. But now watching the second time, I think that shock of Pikachu's talking, it's Ryan Reynolds, like get over it.
Get over it.
Well, essentially, yeah.
We're used to it now.
You're used to it now and you know what to expect. So I think that's why it's a lot more enjoyable to watch the second trailer instead of watching the first trailer for the first time.
Yeah.
So I think it has there was points in the trailer that like made me giggle and kind of laugh, but nothing like
not a full out laugh.
Not a full out laugh, just like that was like clever or especially like the memes. The mime.
Mr. Mime.
Mr. Memes. That's it.
I think that was a really good scene that they did there, or Pikachu getting stuck in the cage and wanting out because Charizard is right there. So I laughed at that. I thought it was pretty good. So I think it will be take your mindset out of what you remember as Pokemon, like originally, I think just accept it for what this is, and I think it'll be a pretty interesting movie.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna try to do before I see it, because I'm not even a Pokemon fan, but I just imagined when I saw Pokemon live action, it was gonna be this magical thing and with a lot of like care and fanfare. And this could have this, like you were saying with Mr. Mime, but I think it's fanfare in the way it's like tongue-in-cheek fanfare, which I was never expecting. You know, I'd expect that like down the line, but I never expected that to be the first movie out of the gate. Does Mr. Mime have an evolution? I have to ask.
Probably. He didn't originally in like the original 150, but has probably since gotten one. I would imagine.
Okay, I'll look that up. So
I think he might have like a first form, like a pre-evolution. I think they added one of those. I don't know what his name would be. Probably like Mime Junior or some shit. Something uncreative.
Is this a movie you're gonna see in the theater though, Kyle?
Probably not. I'll probably watch it on Netflix when it comes out, but we'll see.
Mime Junior.
That was a good guess. Yeah. Probably see it when it comes on Netflix. If it comes on Netflix, I'm not too sure, but
someday.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, let's talk about Aladdin, because I want to leave Dark Phoenix to last because there's potential spoilers in case people want to tune up for a second and come back. Aladdin, this is old because we have not done a newscast. We haven't done that since the Super Bowl because me, Kirkland, and Taylor did one about the Endgame trailer. So it's been over a month, maybe 2 months since the newscast. So this happened. Obviously, there's a big kerfuffle. Dylan, I'll start with you because you've gone on record. You're not a big Aladdin fan, but where are you laying down this Will Smith looking genie?
Well, so the genie for me, like I honestly have such a small recollection of what the original genie is actually like. I haven't watched that movie in so long. So when I was watching this trailer, I mean, it just definitely was like over the top that it was Will Smith to me. Like he was talking like he does in like a regular movie, and obviously like his face is the exact same as what he normally looks like, but his skin is blue instead. So it's kind of strange, and I don't know if I'm gonna be super into it, but at the same time, like I don't know, it's Disney, right? And like they have like I feel like their low bar of quality is still like pretty high for the most part. I think something can slip through where I was like really disappointed in Incredibles, but that's like it's not that the movie is bad, it's just like my own personal bias. Yeah. But when I saw something like the Beauty and the Beast remake, I didn't love it or anything, but I didn't think it was like a bad movie. It was just like kind of uninteresting to me, and I feel like this Aladdin's gonna be in the exact same boat. I'm not gonna go see this movie because I have no interest in it.
That's what I was gonna ask,
yeah. So
Dylan will not be on that review.
Yeah, I just don't really care about these like remakes because I watched those movies as a kid, and I'm not saying that they're childish movies by any means, but I grew up and I haven't watched them since. Like I
left them in the past.
Yeah, I left them as in my childhood. They're sitting in my parents' house on VHS, and that's probably the last time they've been played. So it's been a while for me, and I just don't really care about these stories anymore. They're not really that interesting to me in today's age.
Yeah. Cosman?
So I don't know where to start.
Do you want me to go?
Start with the genie.
The genie, I like. I feel like it's hard to replace Robin Williams, and I think I don't really care like what other actor you would have in there, or like even an actress, but like it'd still be hard to trade that up for someone else who's that authentic and that like outgoing and that personality and that just trying to think of a better character word for
charisma.
Maybe. No, I don't know.
The energy definitely was
energy, right? It's hard to follow up on that.
And a lot of cocaine was another big.
A lot of cocaine
with Robin Williams back in that day.
Yeah. So
Will Smith, I hope not.
But like,
yeah, I don't know. So Deadshot movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's why I can't do Squad 2. He has a huge coke habit right now.
That's why I feel like it's really hard to follow up on Robin Williams. So it doesn't really matter who you're gonna play. It's gonna be a tough to go against that. It being Will Smith, I know like memes and all the stuff on the internet has just been blowing up saying like, what is this guy? This is the Blue Men Group, like kind of all these jokes, and it's pretty funny. It's like not wrong, but like at the same time, it's like, well, I don't really like. How many live action films do we really need of all the old cartoons that we used to watch?
They're doing them all.
But I know they're all doing them all. And I'm going to watch Lion King for sure.
And then they're gonna. I guarantee you, we will, because everyone said no to Lion King. If we've gone Lion King, one day we will get a live action Toy Story, and that's gonna be fucking weird.
That would be really weird.
To see some action.
I'm excited for that.
But you know what's gonna happen,
I'm
right?
not going to that one.
I think what's different with this one is that like they're all 2D image, like live, like they originally were 2D and now they're like actually live action.
Hand drawn.
Meanwhile, like Toy Story is like like the original like 3D
Right.
stuff,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
to see that live action or like Monsters Inc. live action would be just.
Oh, fuck
Oh, that's
that.
gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Just think.
It's gonna be just as creepy as Jigglypuff. It's Pokemon.
But at least it's all he's supposed to have fur, you know.
It's true.
So-
That's true, but they're gonna like take away his fur.
I think it would be a lot more creepier as like a 3D, or sorry, as a real live action of
Yeah.
a guy like going, these monsters going to these kids' rooms at nighttime while the parents aren't there and scaring them, and yeah, I feel like that's not a good
Yeah.
scene. But anyways, Aladdin, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know if I'll
We'll
watch.
see. Or you're not gonna see this.
I'm
either.
probably not gonna watch it either. It's just because I'm not really into these remakes of the live action, except for Lion King, which is what I really want to go see.
Is that just because of Donald Glover though?
Yeah, and Beyonce, come on.
Beyonce.
Have you seen any of the live actions in theater?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just seen them on the old Netflix when they
The
show
old
up.
Netflix machine.
Yeah.
So my thing was, I think Aladdin. I've been on record saying I didn't think this was gonna be as bad as it is now, but I thought when we started this was gonna not be good because director Guy Ritchie, he's done a lot of stuff, Rock and Roller, Snatch, but it's all very, for the most part, like very smaller crime oriented things, or they're kind of like I compare him like Tarantino movies. He has a much different style, but it's usually like a bunch of characters after something. There's lots of dialogue. The only one that he did recently that was bigger budget was that King Arthur movie. I never saw that,
Right.
but I never wanted to see that. So he did that, and they announced him. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. And I feel
Like the kid with the sword, that one, or
no, that's the kid who wouldn't be king.
Okay.
King Arthur was it was a few years
Yeah,
ago.
okay.
Charlie Hunnam, and he had to.
Oh right, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I just thought that was a bad choice off the get-go. I think even before I get to the genie, I think the trailer, my two biggest problems are, one, I agree with people, the guy that's playing Jafar is not feel scary at all. It's strange choice. And then two, it reminds me a lot of Star Wars prequels where Agrabah and all this stuff, like, it looks so CG, it doesn't look real and lived in, it just looks fake. It's supposed to be like, they're in the desert, and it doesn't feel like the desert, it feels like a green screen, and that's the biggest problem. Like, I'm sure maybe they didn't want to go film on a desert, but they should have, you know, like, everything just looks so fake, so that's not going good. And then you got Will Smith as Genie, who I've said from the beginning I thought was going to be a good Genie, because he's a very charismatic guy, he's comedic, he can sing, you know, he'd probably rap instead of whatever they have, but I thought he was a different choice, because I'm not everyone else that's going, oh, it's not Rob Williams, whatever, like, let's move on. For me, it's just, it's going to be strange because he's going to be in this movie so much, and if he's looking that way, and this was something I did say as well, because this movie's coming out in June, I think it is. Oh, I can't, oh no, it's May. It's coming out in May, so I had this theory for a while that they were hiding the blue genie, and I'm still going to stand by that because I feel like we're going to get maybe one more trailer, but I think they're hiding it for a good reason, because the best thing about Thanos is, you can see Josh Brolin in his face, but it doesn't look exactly like Josh Brolin, right?
Yeah.
You just see like he has...
You can like easily disconnect the character from the actor.
Exactly, where this is just Will Smith, like...
It's Will Smith.
If this was a kid's birthday, I'd be completely fine with it. If this was a parody or a comedy, no, but the fact that it's just Will
Right.
Smith and blue, and they've made him something like, they made him like have a bunch of muscles, and he's bulky, so it's weird what they've chosen to make look like him and not look like him. So I don't know. I think I've seen like from the internet, from Twitter, and this is old news, but I just think it's kind of reminding me of when Solo was coming out, because it comes out in that same slot of it comes out after Infinity War, and then after that it's like Godzilla and something else. I feel like the same thing as Solo, where Solo it flopped and it didn't do that well because people were caring about other stuff and they didn't really care about Solo, so they're like, oh, we'll pass, and then a lot of people passed and it didn't do well at the box office. Star Wars' lowest movie. I feel like that's going to happen with Aladdin. I feel like a lot of people, even with fans, I feel like they're pushing them away. They're just going to skip this one. Oh, we'll catch it another time, you know, and I feel like it's
Right.
going to be... And it'll be interesting what they do if they slow them down, because the other weird thing is, in this year, you have Dumbo coming out at the end of March, when this live, so the end of the month, and then you got Aladdin, and then you got Lion King, 3 all in the summer. They have not spaced them out as all. I guess it's because Star Wars is coming out, but I think they should not have 3 live-action remakes come out in 1 year. At least put it at 2, but why would you have Dumbo in March, this in May, and then Lion King in July? That's so close together.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that's really strange.
because they're all nostalgia pieces, right? They're all
Yeah,
like, so it's weird that they
that's
have
true.
3, so I think they'll learn that maybe, like Star Wars, right? They're like, oh, we're just going to do 1 every few years now instead of 1 year. I think they'll start going, let's just do
Yeah.
1 or 2 live action
Maybe
remakes.
maybe the path for them is to do 1 a year and then 1 like on the streaming service or something, and that would maybe drive some people over there to check those out, possibly.
Mhm.
But that, yeah, you're right. I mean, even if they do want to do 3, you definitely got to space them out. Like, that's ridiculous.
But
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're a Disney fan, this is the greatest year of all time.
But maybe it's too much.
Maybe it's too well.
But if you like Disney and you like these live actions and all these renovations,
Renovations.
you know what I mean.
Remakes.
Remakes that
Remakes,
you're doing, that they're doing, then this is enjoyable. Like, you're excited to go see Jumbo. You're excited to go see Aladdin.
What
Like,
did you call it?
Dumbo.
Jumbo.
Oh, I'm thinking of it.
That's the porn version.
I'm thinking work, yeah. Dumbo and Aladdin and Lion King, and like, you're enjoying all these live actions and rewatching and reliving your
Hopefully,
childhood,
yeah.
essentially.
Okay, well, 2 points. One, nice Liam Norton in the live chat. Thanks. You know, Facebook. We're live on Facebook nowadays instead of YouTube, just because it's easier. Just trust me. It's YouTube. The videos still get uploaded there. Trust me, you're still fine. And 2 is so play devil's advocate as far as I'm a person. I got girlfriend. I got baby. Maybe in the future I have 1 or 2 more.
I got girlfriend. I got baby.
I have house. I make fire. So you're talking about from your perspective, or like our friend Chelsea, who
exactly.
loves them all. But think about the people that have kids. One of these movies are gonna go. Especially if this is coming in the summer. You got Endgame. You have other kid movies like Toy Story 4 is also coming out in the summer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's the thing where I'm looking perspective is you just think about budget wise. If you go with the whole family. Let's say it's a family of 4, that's almost $100 right there, right? If you get popcorn and a drink, because movie tickets are what? Let's say round up to $15 if you're seeing 3D. Mm-hmm. So altogether, that's $60 for you to go.
Well, aren't like kid cheap tickets like $5 or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But it still adds up, right? If you were to go see, if you go see Dumbo, Aladdin, that back to back, and if you want to see Avengers, if you want to see Captain Marvel, it adds up. And that's why in my mind, like, if you got to pick one, so far it seems like
you're gonna take your kid to go see Endgame?
Depends the age. What? I would think 7 and up is fine.
I have a 12-year-old boy. I want to go to Endgame.
Yeah.
But if I was 12 years old, I wouldn't want to go see Aladdin.
But you don't. Well, I think, but that's the problem with these trailers. Look,
maybe you're right. Maybe there's like that little. There was like age 9 or something where it just like splits the groups in 2 or something.
I think so.
Well, and I think you're right though, but I even think that the trailer, not even the Will Smith thing, it's not like an entertaining trailer. Like, I don't think there's anything that grabs a kid that'd be like, I want to see that. Like Dumbo,
you're right. Like, it's not like appealing to new audiences. It's like simply calling on old
It would have been
fans.
cool if they would have done it where like Aladdin just like runs through the streets and he's getting chased by the guys again.
Well, that they both times just shown the desert, so I don't know why they've not shown anything else. They've not really shown Jasmine off that much. Like, she's in shots, they've shown the carpet a little bit, but not like they're not showing any of this movie. So I think this is gonna be not a great movie, but
hey, you never know. Snatch was good.
Snatch is great. Let's talk about Dark Phoenix. This is the second trailer. This is a movie that is hopefully coming out in June 7th, because we were supposed to have seen it twice already now.
Right.
It's supposed to come out last November. Supposed to come out previously this February.
Yeah.
So we should have seen it by now. And there's also rumors that New Mutants got delayed again, so that's cool.
Yeah. Classic New Mutants.
Yeah.
Why did it have to have such a good trailer originally?
Yeah. So this movie is coming out June 7th. We have a trailer, the second trailer. What do you guys think about this? This is going to be officially, it's looking like the deal with Disney Fox is going to close in March. So this is officially going to be the last X-Men movie. So what do we...
Oh, it's going to be the last X-Men.
Well, this crop of people, right? Like, once they're not going to bring these people in the MCU. They're going to, think about what they did with Andrew Garfield, right? Like, second they got Spider-Man, they just changed everything. Yeah.
See you later.
I bet he'll be in Spider-Verse too. I hope.
Hopefully.
Him and Toby. But, yeah, what do you think of this trailer?
I think, like, it was a pretty bland trailer, to be honest. Like, I don't think it really got me excited to go watch X-Men. I just feel like I'm rewatching kind of the older films just in a different way, and it's kind of the same thing over again where they're just chasing after one of their friends. So it's nothing. It doesn't really seem anything new, so I'm not really too excited for it. Like, just nothing from it got me hyped, really.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think, to me, it seemed like it was kind of a messy trailer, right? Like, it kind of... It was almost like the perfect imagery for what we've heard of this movie, how it's just getting delayed and getting pushed around and just like, it is a total mess trying to get the movie out. And this trailer, I felt like kind of reflected that. Like, it kind of just felt like there was a bunch of, like, that had that initial sequence with Jennifer Lawrence trying to talk her down. And then after that, I felt like it was just like action for like a minute and a half or something, and just like a bunch of people fighting random people, and then she's like trying to fight them back, and then there's other people fighting. I don't know. I'm not too interested in it. It seems like there's definitely some callbacks to particularly X-Men 3 is the vibe I'm getting, especially that scene in the cul-de-sac with Dark Phoenix arising.
Mm-hmm. Which we will be doing X-Men Retro very soon. It might be starting out probably like next month because we gotta start banging those out. Cause
we gotta bang them out.
We got 9 movies to watch.
It's a lot of fucking movies. I'm gonna skip Wolverine. I'll do the rest of them.
Oh wow!
I remember that movie being really boring. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It was a very messy trailer, and it felt kind of like wacky too. It didn't feel like it fit the tone or like vibes that the last couple X movies with these actors felt like, and even like Apocalypse wasn't that great of a movie anyway, and it at least it felt like consistent with the rest of them. Like the quality wasn't as high, but it felt like it was a continuation. Whereas this has all the same actors, but it felt very, very different. I don't know. I'm getting a weird vibe from this movie, which I should because it's been delayed a million times. And it's a total mess. But I don't know. I think I am excited to see it just to see what it is actually like and see if it actually is like salvageable or if it is just like a total mess of a movie. And I hope it's good, right? Because I've liked some of the movies that like these characters and actors have like been portraying throughout. It's been a few movies, like what 4 or 5 movies is it by the time this one comes? This will be the 5th.
This will be of this crew.
Yeah.
This will be the 4th one. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been quite a story, and like 2 of those movies are really good, and Apocalypse was still decent enough. So I don't know. It'd be nice if they could have a good send off for these characters. But
yeah, that's what I was gonna show up for. What Dylan was talking about. Liam Norton in the group chat the live chat was saying that McAvoy and Fassbender, they give these great performances that people don't really talk about when they're on the good movies, and I think that's the biggest thing that I'm sad about is I wanted the last movie just to at least be good, and maybe it will be. Maybe it's just I'm trying to be positive, but like maybe it will be. But taking that out, I don't think this is like the worst trailer in the world. I think it's kind of on par with the first one. My biggest problem was I had ranted about this last time, so I'm not gonna. And again, there's 2 things to it. The fact that they're just, and this is a spoiler, if you've not watched it, you don't want anything, so I'll give you a 3, 2, 1. The fact that they're just blatantly just showing her killing Mystique, and now, hang on, and this is what I forgot to mention, the director did an interview yesterday, and they go, so why did you decide to kill Mystique? And he said, well, and this was his reasoning for it, he said, we wanted to show that anything can happen in this movie, and we wanted to have a lot of surprises in it. Guess what? That's not a surprise anymore then. That makes no sense to go, I want a movie that has lots of surprises, and maybe there is. Maybe they rewrote it and they knew this was the last one, so maybe Jean just kills them all and it's the end of the X-Men. That'd be great. But the fact that to me it's just twice they're just showing off, like it's such a weird strategy. The only thing I can think is maybe she dies like early on, like first 15 minutes or something.
I feel like it has to be, right? That's the only scene they have to show of her.
But then it's
like
you
need to show a Jennifer Lawrence scene because she's still big on the scene.
Yeah. And to me it's a weird marketing thing of, okay, so let's say you do have that group of people, and maybe they don't look at the trailer like we were talking about with Get Out, but let's say you have a few group of people, or someone like me that's a friend they pointed out. If my mom, who loves Jennifer Lawrence, she would want to go see a movie with Jennifer Lawrence, if she sees that Jennifer Lawrence just gets killed off right away, I feel like you kind of cut that audience out by the knees, because it's like, why should I go see this movie? She's barely going to be in it. It's the same old, same old. There's Charles and Magneto fighting over something, which in the last movie they got back together, but I guess not. It's just, I don't know. It's a been there, done that. I'm very excited. I've always said I did not want Disney to buy Fox. I want them to get X-Men, though, because X-Men is just, I didn't hate Apocalypse as much as everybody, but I obviously there's lots of problems there, so I was hoping for a better movie, but I feel like they've kind of been on a whirlwind for quite a while, so I don't know. And honestly, this is the worst thing, because I posed this question. Out of all these movies, I think this one's going to be the worst one, and it's the one I'm almost like least excited for, because Pikachu, there's like I'm kind of intrigued a bit, but it's not my jam, so I'm not that excited. Aladdin, I'm very intrigued, because I just think that's going to be the kind of potentially it's so bad, it's so good. Like, seeing Will Smith do those scenes could be kind of comedic. So for me, I have just zero excitement for this movie. And I feel like even financially, this movie could do worse than the previous 2 we mentioned. Because I feel like everyone else is just, like, I don't care anymore. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we already know it's the end, right? It's the end of the storyline. So a lot of people will probably just be like, yeah, I'm just going to wait and watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
Kyle's strategy.
Yeah, it's a great strategy. But I guess at the same time, like, it is, like, you would think it is the last movie, you would want to go at least see the last X-Men movie.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna?
Yeah, you know, it is the last one. I might go see it with you guys. Yeah, for sure.
With this, yeah, with
Which,
this
but
cast.
like, I think I'd rather watch the X-Men, Rise of Phoenix? Dark Phoenix?
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, yeah. Rise of the Phoenix. Isn't that Harry Potter?
That's the
The
name
Order
of
of the Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Rise of the Phoenix
So-
is the name of the Tenacious D album that I
Right.
recently shouted out on a particular cast.
So Dark Phoenix, anyways, like I feel like that's going to be a lot more entertaining for me than watching Aladdin. So I'd rather go watch
Right.
that. But
Fair enough.
I agree with you. Like Pikachu seems pretty intriguing of what might happen, and who knows. So that seems more like a fun movie to go and watch and have a good little quick laugh.
Yeah, because
Go with
Dylan,
that.
obviously you're not seeing Aladdin,
No,
but
I'm not gonna see that.
you will see Dark Phoenix. So I guess we'll have to compare notes and see if you think what's worse. But
Yeah, at this point, I feel like, honestly, that's a big question, right? It could be either or.
yeah,
If I had to pick one, I'm gonna say that Detective Pikachu's gonna be better.
yeah, I was gonna say that'd be an interesting double feature, Aladdin and Dark Phoenix back to back to see, especially if they're just both complete messes. You know, you could have a really sad time. in the
Are you
theaters.
trying to get me to go see Aladdin? Because it's not gonna happen.
No, I won't even force that upon you. Like, there's some stuff that, because I also think it could end up just being a boring bad movie, the same way for me Beauty and the Beast was. I've
Yeah.
never finished it. We watched it on Netflix. I was like, I'm good. I get what they're going for. I think the Beast looked like shit there. For me, I don't understand why there's maybe not an uproar, but not enough people talk about how bad the Beast looked, in my opinion. So I'm glad it's kind of happening with the Genie and people aren't so blind to it. Speaking of Will Smith, the Genie.
Speaking of Will Smith,
Well, not the Genie. But so today it came out, or I guess yesterday when at the time of this recording, that Will Smith is not going to be coming back for Suicide Squad 2, or actually it's just called right now The Suicide Squad. That's what they're calling
Oh,
it.
great.
And the Batman's called The Batman, so this is a
Fuck
popular
off.
DC
Hate
thing.
DC.
But you know what Joker's called? Just Joker, so no The Joker. You know, so
The second one will be called The Joker.
The Joker, yeah. So, Margot Robbie coming back for Harley Quinn, but Will Smith is not coming back for Suicide Squad 2, I'll just call it right now, due to scheduling conflicts. Does that help or hurt your excitement? What does it do?
I think that hurts my excitement only because him and Margot Robbie were
Jumbo.
my favorite characters in Suicide Squad. So
Yeah.
to see Will Smith now out, it's kind of like, well, then what am I like? Obviously, Margot Robbie is going to be good. It's just it kind of takes that excitement down because I really wanted to see what happened in that dynamic because they had this like weird like kind of quip back and forth, and I feel like their chemistry was a lot better than the Joker and
Well, yeah.
and that chemistry.
Definitely.
So
Not too
I was
bad.
kind of excited to see what would happen with that, but now knowing Will Smith's not in it, sorry, I don't know.
And because we've never asked you, Kyle, what do you think about the James Gunn being in DC now after he got fired from Disney?
Well, I guess you gotta still keep working, but
Here, you broke it down the most easiest way. And this is the other question, and Dylan, you can answer this after as well. They said that right now they're trying to decide if they want to replace the Deadshot character with another character or recast Will Smith.
I don't think they should recast him. I think they should just replace him with another character.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Deadshot isn't like a known character, at least for most people, right? Like,
Our
did
parents
you
don't.
know who Deadshot was before Suicide Squad?
I think I did, yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah, for sure did.
damn it. It's obviously Travis knows. But I would say most people are probably in my boat that didn't know who Deadshot was before this movie. So I think you might as well just replace it with a new character instead of having some weird scenario where you recast him. But I'm in the same boat. I'm disappointed because I, as well, thought him and Margot Robbie were definitely the best parts of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes me kind of curious, like, okay, what is this movie going to be? Because who else do you have? Obviously, Margot Robbie's still great. She's going to, star in the movie, whatever. But who else? Because
Agent number 2!
you lost a couple other people throughout that movie, and now that Deadshot's just like randomly gone.
Slipknot.
Yeah, Slipknot's gone. El Diablo
Killer
sacrificed himself, right?
I don't think they bring any of those people back other than maybe Amanda Waller now. I thought,
Yeah.
and it's funny.
Like I just don't understand, like, because obviously they're already doing Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are they're just doing like another Harley Quinn movie, right? Because she's like the only recurring character. Yeah,
Mhm.
you have Crocman, but he has zero character development. So who gives a shit other than Taylor?
Yeah.
Taylor's favorite character somehow. But I'm trying to, like, who else? You have like Captain Boomerang. He's pretty boring. Like, he had potential, I guess, but it wasn't used in that movie. So I don't know. Maybe they develop his character some more. But I guess you just give it to James Gunn, whoever else is making this movie. Like, bring in some more fun, interesting characters, or some fun, interesting characters in the first place, and just do whatever story. Like, I don't think it really matters, right? It's the first movie was kind of like I mean, it's weird. I haven't actually rewatched it, so it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but it was like a pretty.
Don't worry about
it. It was a pretty basic kind of adventure movie. Like they spend the first half an hour teaming up, and then a lot of the movie is literally them just like walking through the street. Oh, here's some bad guys. Let's fight them. Let's walk. Let's have a conversation in this bar. Let's break open some windows. Let's keep walking down the street until they get to the boss at the end of the movie and take him out. And then there's like, I don't know, Joker doing some random shit as well. So I don't know. I feel like obviously there's a lot of room to do like an actually interesting story and like progression within the story, but it's gonna start with some interesting characters. And that movie, the first movie, definitely lacked in those, and now you're losing, one of the two big ones as well. So this movie is gonna be fucking wild. I don't know what to expect.
And to jump back onto the James Gunn as being the director, I think if he's the new director, then I don't think they should just not do this movie at all and just do something different.
Well, apparently
just like give him whatever he wants. Just do
no,
some DC movie.
They apparently said that he had any choice of his, anything of his choosing he could do. Apparently, and this is what he chose.
Really?
Yeah, that's the rumor going around. So he could even.
I mean, it really could be like a Guardian style thing where it's just some fun adventure with fun action scenes, really colorful, have some music in there to keep it interesting, and build around Harley Quinn and being an already established good character, and boom, you're good to go. So I mean, he's obviously like equipped to do this movie justice, but it's just like gonna be weird because it's not gonna feel. I doubt it's gonna feel like a sequel. It's just gonna feel like. Well, it's gonna be weird. It's not a remake or like a reimagining because it's gonna have the same Harley Quinn, but then the rest of it is gonna be like pretty much all new characters. So
I apologize because I think Dylan's been here every time I brought this up, but I feel like that's my most disappointing thing. Is I know James Gunn is a great director, but I just don't. I didn't want him to do this movie because I just feel like it is just Guardians again, and I feel like you'd want to, after Marvel gave you the boot, to do something different. But then sometimes I just feel like it is like, well, this is what I know, and I'll do this, and maybe this is kind of I can't do Guardians 3, so I'll do like a semi-different sort of version, and that's not what I want to see. But Dylan, you brought up the point that I was most interested in that. So Birds of Prey is filming right now, and that's supposed to come out next February, so 11 months from now.
Okay.
And then this is starting production apparently this September. So if you think about it, we're going to have 2 years back-to-back with Harley Quinn movies, and it's kind of strange that, to me, if you would have sat me down and been like, okay, only one of them are going to be in Suicide Squad, who would it be? I picked Will Smith every time, because I thought, oh, Harley's in this movie over here, doing her own thing, and then you can put Will Smith there. For some reason, it sounds like, I don't know the timing of this. Would they say scheduling conflicts? I don't believe that at all, because if the other rumors are that they were thinking about recasting him, I think that's a full-on, he's not interested. I don't know if he's not interested because of the reception of the first one, if he's busy. Hell, maybe he has a problem with James Gunn's tweets and he's like, I don't want to work with him. Whatever it is, I don't think if he just had scheduling conflicts, they would be looking to recast him. Because they'd be like, okay, we'll do something with you and you're available, right? So the second I heard that, like, that's a little fishy. Like, why would you want to recast him? So I think he's, like, done with Deadshot. I don't think we'll see him ever again.
No,
I think he's moving on. He's doing Bad Boys. He's doing the Genie. He needs a fucking better agent, big time. He just he needs
to in the MCU.
He says he wants to be a Black Panther, so you know what? It might happen. So
I don't know.
What?
I think he's too big of a person to be in Black
Panther.
I
don't want him Black Panther.
That's why you just put a bunch of makeup on him.
And that's why I like the MCU.
Make him blue.
Yeah, give him like make him some weird alien character that's like growths on his face or something.
But that's why I like the MCU. Like they have all these guys or like actors and actresses that are not so well known and kind of more under the radar that do a really good job instead of having like these big names that everyone knows. And I don't know. It's
gonna be interesting though when they get X-Men because he's not a huge name, but Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, was a little bit bigger, and Brie Larson was like a little bit bigger. So I feel like when we get to X-Men Fantastic Four, they might be like,
I feel
here's
like
your Tom Cruise. And I don't.
It's interesting because
it's almost like Smith is Mystique.
They really took the time to build like a really good foundation because Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., and Chris Hemsworth, like now they're really big names, but
back
like
then, no.
Yeah, they really like developed into that role. So I don't know. They're definitely taking that strategy now where they are getting more known people to do some things. I mean, it's not across the board like Black Panther as well. Like forget the main actor's name.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, like he is a relatively unknown sort of guy as well. So I don't know. I guess they're kind of doing a mix of it.
I think that's what they'll probably do with X-Men. I think you'll get like let's say if it was a team of 6, you get 3 newbies and then 3 more established
Sure,
people.
sure.
But the other thing they do seem to do, which I like, is they like you look at Black Panther. They have a bunch of stars in the supporting cast. Like Michael B. Jordan was a bigger star.
Yeah.
It's a small role, but Forrest Whitaker, you know, it gets people you've seen around, right?
Yeah.
And then the main star is somebody a
And his
little
mom,
lesser.
yeah.
Yeah, Angela Bassett. So yeah.
And you save money.
Well, exactly. So, so with Squad, I'm very surprised that they're gonna do Harley Quinn back to back. I guess that's their Iron Man. So good for them. People like that character. They'll sell a lot of Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
so
it's popular.
great for them. I can't remember. I thought there was another point I had, but I think it's gone. I guess I can't remember. I'm mad at myself, but it was something. I think it was something to do with Will Smith. But yeah, I just don't think you'll see him as Deadshot again. And yeah, that's I guess unfortunate. I did like him, but I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. You know,
Right.
it's not like with. I'm more upset about Fassbender, McAvoy. It's like
I've never been to the point where I was like, man, I gotta watch that Deadshot performance again. I better rewatch Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Let's see. I have quick things to shout out. Dylan and I should be happy about this news. We're making Escape Room 2 officially.
That's cool.
So, which is pretty good because I think the budget was about $5 million and made over $100 million at the box office.
Good
So
for them.
yeah, I'm
Hey,
excited.
the real Saw treatment, hey?
Yeah. I'm excited it's gonna come out next year. Check out our review. I'm interested to see where they go. I'll ask you this still without spoiling it. Do you think they pick up right where they left off, or do they do the Saw approach of kind of these are new characters, new rules sort of deal, right? Because I've been wondering, because the movie leaves it you can do
Right.
either or, right?
It's interesting. I haven't thought about this yet. I don't know. I really hope they do take the Saw approach to it because I don't know. I think it didn't have it wasn't really quite as twisty as Saw, but at the same time it kind of was, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas it was just more like the themes were kind of the same. So I don't know. I hope it takes the Saw approach because that movie was a pleasant surprise, and I'd like to see them get creative with it, and I think there's definitely the room to do that because the audience is there and wants that. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that they announced that.
I think you could watch this, Kyle. You wouldn't be. It's not a scary movie, and it's not. It's PG-13. It's not like Saw where it's a bunch of torture. It's literally.
It's just like escape rooms as you picture them, but then they're they can kill you. It's like Saw.
Yeah.
So.
The first 30 minutes is a minor spoiler. They think it's just like a regular
Yeah,
escape room.
but it's not like gore porn like Saw is. It's,
No.
It's more tame. It's more like it's probably rated like PG-13. Or
It is PG-13.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, that's not too bad then.
Mhm.
Like, just a disclaimer for the viewers and listeners is that I'm not a big fan of scary movies. Like, I just don't like being scared in general. So like a lot of these horror movies that we talk about,
You
like
just, you
I just
shiver.
I shiver and like even Jordan Peele's new movie that's coming out, Us. Like,
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for that. I won't say anything because I know these guys haven't seen it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was shivering. I was like, I don't want to watch this, but like I do want to watch it
Right.
because Jordan Peele is just amazing and he's like all these good movies that he's doing and directing and it's good, but like it looks fucking scary.
What was I gonna say? I forgot to show this out. I should have been talking about when DC, and I should have be on the show because Taylor's gonna be very mad. Friday, March 3rd, probably you're listening to this already. Our DC poll starts, so much like our Star Wars poll and whatnot.
Sure.
So go vote for your favorite characters. Go debate when Mr. Freeze pops up. You better be dropping those Arnold memes in there. But that's gonna be very exciting. And talking about DC, the only thing I'll quickly shout out is watch Doom Patrol. It's on the DC app. It's great. It's I think next to
You
Flash.
have the DC app again, huh?
I have a friend that has a DC app.
There you go.
It's great. It's a weird show. It's like Guardians meets Men in Black. It's just there's so much swearing and Brendan Fraser plays a robot. It's great. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's definitely their best TV show they've ever done. So check it out when you get time. I guess it's not coming to Netflix in Canada because I saw when we were watching the Oscars it was on Space. But for your Canadians, watch it there when it comes out because I don't think it's like the greatest thing of all time. It's just it's something really good they're doing. So that's exciting. Any other movie TV news?
Well, we didn't get to watch the Twilight Zone trailer, but do you want to talk about that?
I love it. I'm in. I will be definitely reviewing. This is the beginning of April. I think it's April 1st. I'm not sure if anyone will join me. We don't have the CBS app in Canada, so I'm hoping there's a way. If not, I'll have to ask my friend, and I'm sure he'll find a way. But I'll be reviewing this. I'm a big Twilight Zone fan. I like horror in general. I love anthology series. It just looks great. It's a great cast. Jordan Peele's behind it, so it's very much like Get Out. Yeah. It's very much like Get Out. I Imagine Us, where it's just a certain situation and something's wrong. I'm so excited. It looks so good. I'm I cannot wait. There's so much good stuff coming out between like March and July. It's nuts. I'm gonna be overflowing.
It's a lot, dude. It is a lot.
Great trailer.
And I'm gone for a month of it, so there you go.
Great trailer.
So much to watch when you get back.
So many games to play when I get back. Fuck the TV shows. I'm kicking those to the side.
Is that it for movie TV? You got anything else?
No, I just have gaming.
Boom. So we're switching over to gaming news. Here we go.
Cool. The first thing I want to mention is a very big shout out to Reggie Fils-Aimé, the president of Nintendo, the CEO of Nintendo America. Reggie has always been like such an amazing figure within the gaming community. He's been just an image in my head for so long.
He retired, just so you know. Nintendo.
Yeah, he announced his retirement, which is like in April or something like this. But yeah, Reggie's always been such a great face of the company. He's always got like a good energy. You can tell that he actually plays the games and he actually cares about these characters and like what they're doing with it. He's always been good about like responding to the community and like taking on the role of being like a meme lord and like
my body's ready.
Yeah, my body's ready. He's brought that into reality and
he even said it as a retirement speech.
Yeah,
he's a legend. My body is ready.
Every time Reggie is on screen, whatever he's talking about, I'm just always entertained. He's such a great face of the company and it is going to be sad to see him go, but I'm happy for him that he's had such a great career with Nintendo and big shout out to Reggie. I love Reggie so much.
Yeah, it's great. Like he's great because we talk about all the time. You got Phil Spencer, which is like a different type of guy. Sean Langford, PlayStation, very serious. Reggie was just the best. Reggie was just when he was on stage, when he was talking, just so much energy, so much excitement. You were all like you said, he had memes. You're just excited to see him. I am a little disappointed. I'm happy that he's going for his family and everything like that. And the guy replaced him is named Bowser, so that's fun.
Doug Bowser.
Yeah, I just wish, and this, like I said, this is I'm being 100% selfish here, but I wish that they did one last E3 stage show because there's no PlayStation this year, and I would have loved if he would have announced, hey, I'm retiring at the end of August or something like that, and we could have got one more E3 with him, even if it wasn't on stage.
Yeah.
But I wish we had one more of him on stage, and if people knew he was retiring, just to show the respect he deserves, because I think a lot of people, I think he probably knows that, but he's just so much fun, and yeah, you have people that would be stuck up or not go with the joke or everything like that. And he does. So hopefully the next guy does well. Switch is having it's doing good. So they got lots of good games coming out. So I know.
I wonder if they will do anything else. So obviously he had like a little 2-minute video announcing their retirement, but he's not retiring for like a couple months. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have like one more Nintendo Direct in that time, and then maybe he like
end of April.
He could drop some big announcement
he's in Smash
along with his like I'm gone sort of thing.
Yeah.
That would be sick. I would love to have him in Smash. I think I have a Mii fighter of him in game that I use, which is always fun to fuck people up with the Reginator. So. Yeah, that was the first thing I wanted to mention. So yeah, the Nintendo Direct, which was I want to say February 12th or somewhere around there. It was a couple weeks ago at this point, but we never got to talk about it. So there's a bunch of stuff in there. I also have it was kind of like a little bit of a letdown for me.
That's what everyone was saying.
Yeah, there's like obviously there's a couple like they announced before the Direct that. I don't know if we've talked about this on cast, but that Metroid Prime, the new Metroid Prime 4 is just like straight up they're just scrapping what they have and starting from scratch. So
new developer.
Well, yeah,
developer.
Did we talk about this on cast or something?
No. It happened.
It was like right before the Direct that they announced it.
I think so. Yeah. It's new old developer because it's a new developer, but it's the people that did all the other games, right? So it's strange.
Yeah. So I mean, at least that game, like we're not waiting for that to be shown at these Directs anymore. And I like the way that Nintendo actually announced that. I thought it was pretty good of them.
Does that come out on the Switch though?
I don't know. Maybe it's like I want to say it will. I want to say it will because
they're just starting development. Like I'm sure they started sooner than recently, but I guess we just don't know what they're planning to do.
I know it's just one of those things where if they've already announced, hey, this game's coming out for Switch. A lot of people have like bought a Switch, for various reasons, but also like, man, I'm gonna get Metroid Prime when that comes out. So I don't know. I feel like Nintendo's the kind of guy to do that. Like, look at Breath of the Wild. Like that game came out on Switch and Wii U. They easily could have just released it on Switch, but instead they included like a slightly de-res version so that people could still play it on the Wii U because that's how they advertise it. So I want to say that they'll honor that and keep that sort of style for Metroid Prime. But yeah, I mean, if they're just starting development now, like hopefully they're going into it with like a pretty solid plan at least, and they can start like actually making the game pretty quick. But I don't know. But I guess also what I was saying is, Luigi's Mansion, they've mentioned that, Animal Crossing, and neither of those are in the Direct. which was a big thing.
I think Mansion's a full-on fall game. I think October, scary.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, they have mentioned that they are trying not to talk too much about games that aren't coming out in the near future. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like this direct, I don't know, maybe need a little bit more. So I think I'll just go through. I'm not going to talk about every single thing because as with these directs, they always show 30 different games and.
Bear with us, guys.
We don't need to talk about all of them, but the big one is Mario Maker 2, announced and is coming out in June 2019. So obviously Mario Maker for the Wii U is a fantastic idea for a game, and then execution was pretty good. And I think this one's just going to be the same thing but more, right? There's going to be more options. The big thing I think is making slanted edges, which you couldn't do in Mario Maker apparently. I didn't notice that because I have to say after I played the game for the first month, I don't think I ever went back to it, but. It is a great idea for a game. I don't know if I'll pick up this one just because of how quickly I stopped playing the original one, but it is this was just a time bomb. I think everyone knew that Mario Maker 2 was going to be coming to the Switch at some point.
I think
it's a perfect
fantastic.
thing for the console, so yeah, it's a no-brainer.
It's fantastic for a game that especially people are going to be on the go using it, whether it's bus, train, whatever it is. I think the levels are going to get even better. We're going to see much more creativity because I feel like it came out, it had a big fan base, but now
it had a really big community that persisted, at least from what I've read.
I think it's just going to get even bigger. And I think it's a perfect Switch game.
Yeah,
it was when I saw that, and it's one of those that I kind of was like, oh yeah, no doubt, but I'd almost forgot about.
Yeah, I think they're doing that with a lot of these Wii U games, right? Because that console didn't have as much of a boom factor as all their other consoles, so I think they are bringing a lot. A couple other ones here, Captain Toad, I think is already on the Switch. I think you can already play it, but they're bringing more stages and multiplayer for the first time. That's pretty cool. I've talked about Captain Toad a few times. It's just a really good puzzle game. It's kind of simple, but I love the art style. I love the design of the game, so that's pretty cool. I can see myself picking that up for the more stages and multiplayer. That could be fun. What was the other big game that they're bringing over?
A big game. I think
it was some Wii U game that they're bringing over.
Thought you were talking about someone that has a certain movie out next week.
What is that?
Remember they revealed more about the line stuff.
Right, yeah. That was the next thing for sure. So there was more gameplay here.
Yeah.
They showed off, I think for the first time, Venom, Iron Fist, and Captain Marvel. I think those were the three. And
I wasn't 100%, and this is so old, but I feel like we in the first trailer did not see Storm, and Storm was in this trailer. So I could be wrong.
I don't know if we saw gameplay, but I'm pretty sure she was in that splash screen of all the characters.
True. Let's see if we get updated.
But yeah, cool. Captain Marvel makes a lot of sense, and she has the same costume as the movie, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Especially because when we played Ultimate Alliance a couple of years just here or there.
It's that game I tried to get you to play Con, you just wouldn't. I'm not a big hack and slash guy.
Fair enough. Captain Marvel, I didn't really know anything about her at the time, but obviously now we're gonna go in with a lot more knowledge on her, so that's cool. Venom as well is a lot of fun. Another heavyweight. I think Iron Fist is a strange character to throw in there, just because of there's so many characters in the MCU right now that are really big and popular and interesting, and even X-Men and stuff that people really love. So to pick Iron Fist as one of them, I'm okay with it because I like Iron Fist and they have the actual costume that I really like. Mm-hmm. But I just think it is kind of a strange choice.
I want you to pause on that because when I watched this trailer, I didn't watch the direct. I had seen that pop up, just the Marvel Ultimate Alliance Sweet trailer. So I'm very excited. That's a game which we didn't mention. They said it's coming out summer 2019. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, actually, I would love it if it came around E3 time because we're always all together. So if we could do E3 and then a big stream together, that'd be great. Because one way or another, if Dylan's buying this or we're all going halfsies, we're buying this game.
I'm buying it for sure.
Okay, good. That's the game we're gonna stream start to finish. I may be sleeping over at Dylan's one tonight.
Yeah, because we'll blast it in one.
It's gonna be great. So the thing is, I'm watching this trailer, right? And they're it'll feature the Guardians, the Avengers, and then they're the Defenders, and then they show Iron Fist. And I just thought, because I'm like them. I love Iron Fist. I even like the show. I feel like he kind of got a raw deal there. We didn't get to see that costume at all. That show's gone now, so we'll never see that. But I'm trying to think of the reason why they picked him. And in Ultimate Alliance 2, he's a great character. But for me, it's okay, so, and I'm being realistic here. Some characters I feel let's pick because, they're different race. They're different gender. Let's spice it up. But then you got Iron Fist, who, especially out of the Defenders crew, is not the most popular. You got Daredevil. You got Jessica Jones.
They'll have Daredevil in the game as well, right?
I'm worried that they won't because I feel so far what they've shown this game.
Did it say we're bringing the Defenders?
It said you'll have heroes representing all walks of like the Marvel universe, and that's what
Did it say Defenders?
It said Defenders, and they showed Iron Fist.
Okay,
remember,
Daredevil's definitely in there.
but I still
You gotta
worry-
hold stuff back. Some stuff back. Plus, the game's not done yet. They might not have all the characters play in a playable state, right?
So out of all the Defenders, why do you show Iron Fist?
Maybe he's the only one ready. I think Iron Fist does look really cool. Like, there's a lot of people that don't even watch these shows anyway who like are going to see all these movies, right? Like, I don't know what the crossover is, but I'm sure there's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I like Iron Fist for me. Like, before the show and all that. Like, even as a someone who never read the comic books, I still knew who Iron Fist was, and I just thought he was a really cool character. So, I don't know, maybe timing-wise, like, if you're thinking strictly MCU, it is a strange choice. But I still think he's definitely a badass, and he represents, like, the martial arts sort of fighting style that these games always have, like, 2 or 3 of those kind of characters in there.
So, yeah, the official roster right now, we got Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Drax, Gamora, Groot and Rocket, Hulk, Iron Fist, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Storm, Thor, and Wolverine. Yeah, so the only ones... And Venom's not on there because that's one thing...
Maybe Venom's a villain, eh?
Well, because we haven't been confirmed, because I'm still... If we cannot play as Thanos in this game, I'm going to be a little salty. Because every MCU or MUA game always had 2 or 3 villains that they took over and you could play as.
I could see that. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, this company's history and what they've done with DLC. But, I mean, obviously this game is perfect for DLC. It's easy to add, like, another campaign or 2 on there and add more heroes. Maybe they're, like, saving it for, like, a villain thing. But I don't know. We have so much more to see, right? Because that's not going to be the full roster. That's 19 characters right there. That's 14 characters right there. That's no one. So, like, they're going to have, like... What do the other games have? 20 or 30? 25, 30 characters?
I usually say about 25. Yeah. So you got 10 more. The Guardians take up a lot of space. Because that's 4 new members. And then X-Men
Well, Groot and Rocket being packaged together as one character. Helps a little bit.
When do you think we're getting this game, like, officially? Like, what month do you think? Because they just said summer.
Well, I mean, Mario Maker is coming out in June.
Okay.
I forget when Fire Emblem comes out. That might come out in, I think I have it here. I think it's July, actually.
I'm going to say August.
Fire Emblem comes out in July, the end of July. So I could see it either early... I honestly think August at this point. I mean, looking at their other, like, Nintendo games, I guess.
You couldn't see it possibly early July when Spider-Man Far From Home's coming out? Some synergy going on there. See Spider-Man go pick up the game.
I don't really think Disney and Nintendo are like having boardroom meetings with fighting.
They had to for this game though, right?
Yeah,
to make it exclusive.
Yeah,
so.
but I don't think they're like. I don't think they'd be trying to line up a video game and a movie. I think that's too much to rely on. Like, oh, this is getting pushed back. This is getting delayed.
Yeah.
I think that'd be too like hard to aim for.
Yeah.
Video games obviously like have much less set in stone release dates. Like. Just generally, I don't know like from this company in particular, like if they are pretty honorable to the release dates they initially announced, but games are always getting pushed back. So
yeah, just I'm not sure if you've heard this game is just exclusive to the Switch.
Oh.
It's not coming to any other console for right now. So
I will say my last point on it really is that I don't know if there was really any difference in the quality of the textures and stuff, but I thought it looked better. Like just the
a tad, yeah.
The just the pure fidelity of the like character art and stuff like that, and the like explosions and whatnot, I thought it looked better. It still is like definitely a little more cartoony, and
it's
like,
definitely an aesthetic choice. Yeah, I'm still the same. Where I'm with Dylan. It looked a tad better. I still think it just sometimes looks ugly. But what I will say is, I think it's gonna be fun. Is I hope, like I said, Dylan did say it looked a tad better, and I agree. So I'm hoping by the time we get playtime, I'm not looking for goddamn Horizon Dawn graphics, but I'm just hoping a bit better. Just like, to me, it wasn't the aesthetic, it just looked old, so I'm hoping by the time we get playtime, maybe it'll look better.
Yeah.
But what Dylan brought up, I think the best thing that I was excited for, because when I first saw the trailer, I was a little skeptical of the gameplay. This trailer had a lot more of the classic, like a bunch of people around. It just was, I think, the type of levels or just the design of the first trailer. I was like, I don't know if this is the exact same thing I want, but this one showed at one point Captain Marvel, and there was like a lot of enemies just fighting. And then they talked about how you would have some sort of finisher maneuver, and then also how you could combine that with people. So they're bringing in kind of that, they did that, what were they called, fusion moves or whatnot in the second one.
Those are really cool.
It looks like, as long as the gameplay is great, I can get past the aesthetic. I think it'll look good, but I'm so excited for this. I want to know more and more and more. Like, this is, like I said, this is a game that anyone else, people can get excited, but no one's excited as this podcast. We, since this podcast has started pretty much, have been talking about this game, wanting a third one. Like,
hey, the best meme of last year is from...
I'm pretty sure Thanos is in this.
Well, he's a villain, but we're wondering if, because you can play as people, we're wondering
They have footage of him and, like, his squad with... Maw and the girl with the blades.
The Black
and
Order.
The guy with the
Yeah. We're wondering if you can if you beat him, play as him eventually.
Because
That's
you
what
could
we're
play
hoping.
as Doctor Doom back in the other ones.
Yeah, and you can play in Venom as one and play as Carnage. So we're hoping, because I just want to play as Thanos so bad. That's such a good tank character. I don't need the Gauntlet. That's too OP, even though But yeah, Ultimate Alliance is our fucking game. So I can't wait.
I'm like, it's just you don't have too many games these days that are purely like split screen couch co-op games to be excited for. Like, and yes, you have like your Mario parties, but that's like it's just pretty much your Mario games, right? Yeah. It's like your Mario Kart, your Mario Party, your Mario Tennis. I can't really think about I guess Overcooked maybe fits in that category, but this is like a very exciting game. Plus, as we've mentioned a bunch, like where are the Marvel games? Marvel is huge right now. Why is there not just five companies making Marvel games at the same time? They did say
Spider-Man was the beginning, right? So we're gonna see these more and not that there was any doubt, but in that trailer too,
they could make fucking Marvel Tennis and people would buy it.
Oh,
I would buy it. That'd be sick.
They did confirm it wasn't a big doubt, but they did confirm that it's still 4-player co-op. So that's one.
Play with GameCube controllers.
I didn't even think about that.
Plug it in, GameCube controllers.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that game. Clearly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was nice. There was a nice little display they had in the trailer. I think anything they show for this game, I'm gonna be excited for. It's just gonna be like, here's a couple more heroes. Get excited.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about that one? Not much. Let's see. So a few other things here. Tetris 99. I was showing Kyle some gameplay. Tetris 99. They announced during the direct. They showed off. Hey, here's Tetris 99. It's a battle royale sort of thing where you play against 9 other people in a game of Tetris. The combos you get, you send other people, and it's just a countdown to whoever can last the longest. And then hey, it's free to everyone who has Switch online.
That sounds really similar to a few games that are out right now.
It's a popular genre, but it's pretty interesting that the puzzle game community is like jumping in on it.
When we get Marvel Royale,
give it to me. But yeah, I've downloaded it obviously because it's free. Everyone should download it on their Switch, and it is a lot of fun. It is incredibly exciting to play. I haven't played Tetris in a long time, and to play it in this kind of format makes it really, really intense. Because when it gets down to the wire and you're in top 10, it's the speed has gone up and you're just trying to hang on. You're just trying to stay alive. It is perfect. And as someone who's hasn't played any of the battle royale games, because they're not. I've actually played a couple games of Apex, but generally the genre's not really for me. Yet it's the biggest genre right now. It's fun to have something that can fit in that genre and I can be interested in playing. But yeah, it's been really fun. I'm really glad. It's such a great idea. What I really want next is for them to make Dr. Mario 99. Dr. Mario is very Tetris. It's a very Tetris-like game, but I just prefer the Dr. Mario gameplay to Tetris. And I would love if they made that. Which I don't know if they will, because I don't think there is a lot of love for Dr. Mario out there, but it's certainly not a household name. I didn't even play it until a couple of years ago. I didn't even know it existed. So it's a lot of fun. Everyone should go download it and play it because it's easy to quickly get into a match. If you need if you only have 10 minutes to play a game, you can go play a couple rounds of that. It's perfect. Or if you're just getting addicted because every time you close your eyes, you're just seeing the blocks fall, then boom, you can play it for 7 hours straight. No one's gonna stop you. It's a good time. I think it's a great addition. Gets people excited to go because at first Nintendo announced that their online service. First it was delayed. It was a year after the Switch came out, and then it was okay, some games now you can't play online unless you get the service, and you just get some NES games, which NES Classic just came out. A lot of people were kind of iffy on it, but I think that's a great addition that will get people interested and justify the purpose. I already bought it because to me I felt like it was worth it to get the Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
But
is it just a monthly fee that you have to pay?
You can do either. You can do it yearly or monthly. It's $50 if you do the whole year, so it's significantly cheaper, and it's cheaper than PS Plus or Xbox. Yes, you kind of get less right now, but obviously they are planning on pumping out more games like this, and here's just one example on top of all the NES games that you can already get. So the other big thing in the direct was Fire Emblem. Three Houses is the name of the game. This is finally another console Fire Emblem that's coming out. It's coming out July 26th. So I'm obviously a big Fire Emblem fan. I've played all of the games that have released in North America, which is 7 or 8 games now. I don't love all of them. There's probably 3 or 4 of them that I really love, some of my favorite games, but then the other 3 or 4 I'm a little bit lower on. Either I just wasn't interested enough to finish them, or I just didn't like them right off the start. And this one, unfortunately, right now, I'm not super in on it. The things they focused on in this in this direct because they spent probably the most amount of time in the direct talking about this game because this kind of was the big new game that's coming out, big IP.
This is when they announced with the launch of the Switch, right? When they teased
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time, I don't know how far along the game was, but yeah, I don't know. For me, I think the reason I wasn't super interested, and it seems like from what I've seen, like on Twitter and wherever else, like it seems like it's pretty common that like Fire Emblem fans aren't super into this trailer. And I think the reason is they didn't really focus on any of the strategy elements of the game. They just kind of focused on the things outside. So that's something that I've not loved about the last couple Fire Emblems is there's a lot of like in between battles, just like either characters talking or like having conversations or you're building relationships, building random things. Like there's just other little things that they're throwing in there that I guess make the game a more full experience. But for me, like I'm not there for that stuff. I'm there for like really really good strategy gameplay and like I like the characters and like the colorfulness of the games, which they're kind of going away from as well. But yeah, this trailer had like I think maybe 2 sequences of like actual in battle footage, and the rest was just like the in-game stuff you can do outside of that. So in this game, I guess your main character is like a professor, and then like people come and train at your school, and that's how you like level up characters, and then you can do studies and then send them off to the battle. It's just like weird. Like I don't understand. I don't really know. Like I'm just kind of scared for the direction that these games are going.
Is this for you still a purchase no matter what though?
Likely, because I've been waiting so long for another Fire Emblem game on console, right? Because Wii U didn't have one, and I guess they had like Fire Emblem Warriors, but that's a different genre in general. So I'm still very excited for it, and like obviously there is going to be a lot of strategy and stuff in it. And maybe it's because that stuff isn't changing, right? Because they already have a pretty good formula of like the weapon wheels and what's effective against what, and like there's enough depth there already from stuff they've established, so they don't need to show that, I guess. And instead they're showing off like the stuff that's new. It makes sense, but I don't know. I'm just maybe scared like how much of the game is going to be that stuff outside of that, because that's really I feel like that's maybe really interesting for like big anime fans or something. But I'm not super into that stuff. I just want the strategy.
Or JRPG people that are big Final Fantasy.
Yeah, possibly.
That sort of, or like Persona, that sort of deal. Yeah.
With that being said, there is still like some interesting things within it, and I like the idea of like the branching pathways. Obviously, the last Fire Emblem or a couple Fire Emblems that came out ago on the 3DS, like there's 3 versions of the game, kind of like what Pokemon does, right? There's like a good path and like an evil path, and then there's like some neutral path, and you could buy like whatever game you wanted of the 3. I didn't really like that game as much. It was kind of one of my least favorite of the Fire Emblem games, but it was a good idea. And this is kind of like taking that idea, but just having it all in one game. So you can go on separate pathways from like you start in the middle of the map, I guess, and you can like branch out. I'm not sure if it's like binary that you pick one direction and go that direction, or if you can kind of just slowly pick away in the multiple directions. Not sure how that's going to go, but I don't know. Maybe that'll add some good replayability to it. If not, hopefully it'll keep the story like interesting. And if you're like on some path and it's kind of boring, you can just go and do some other one instead. So I don't know. I'm still excited for it, but that trailer definitely didn't hype me up. I think I'm probably like where I was before in terms of interest. Yeah. So a little let down by the display, especially because that was like kind of the biggest thing in this direct, other than maybe Mario Maker. That probably was the biggest thing. So let's see. What are some other highlights?
You gonna be reviewing it?
It comes out July 26th. I'll probably, I don't know if I'll do like a full review on it, but I'll definitely do some sort of cast on it.
Yeah.
Maybe in the style of what I did with Octopath, how I didn't really do like a full review of the game because it's hard to just quickly invest 40 to 60 hours in a game to review it. So maybe I'll definitely have something on it, but I'm not sure if it'll be a full review.
See what we got going on in July.
The new Zelda game? New Zelda?
Yeah, when does that come out? I didn't write that down in my notes, unfortunately. I don't know.
Oh, the Link Awakening?
Yeah, Zelda Link's Awakening, a remake of the Game Boy Zelda game. I don't know what the release date is for that, but I think it looks great. I love the art style, like the kind of cutesy claymation sort of art style, and it fits really well within the theme of the game, which is kind of like supposed to be, a dream world, right? Obviously, there's like the dogs, the chain chomps from Mario and stuff. Like it is a weird dreamy world, so I think the art style fits perfectly. And me and Kyle were actually watching a little like comparison video with like the original next to the new one, and I like the way they've like kept kept it honorable to like the same scale of everything, but it has like a really fun art style to it. So
yeah. It says coming in 2019.
2019. Okay. That's kind of that's kind of Nintendo's style. Like all the stuff they show in here is stuff that's coming out like at least within like 6 months to a year. Yeah, unless it gets delayed or like Metroid Prime or something like that. But
and the only thing we have going on in July really is Spider-Man. After that's Lion King and Hobbs and Shaw. So
yeah, that'll be good because when I get back from my trip, there's a couple games I need to catch up on. But by that time in July, I should be good to go with Fire Emblem. Yeah, so Zelda Link's Awakening. I'm pretty excited for that because I never played that game back in the day. I really like the art style of this, and I'll probably pick it up. I still have to play Breath of the Wild, so I don't know. Maybe I'll play that one first. But
you don't need to.
I want to play it. And then I think the other really big surprise in this direct was Astral Chain, which is the next game from Platinum Games, the makers of Nier Automata and the Bayonetta games. So I think Bayonetta 3 is still like on the horizon. They're still making that, but in the meantime, they have this game coming out, which is kind of like a team-based action-adventure sort of game. It definitely looks like a combination of a lot of stuff you'd see in the Nier or in a Bayonetta, like in terms of that kind of gameplay, at least combat-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed to me from the trailer that it was more focused on team, whether that's... I think it is a single-player game, so I think you just like kind of build a squad, or maybe there is multiplayer. I don't know if you split screen or online. I'm not really sure. But then it kind of had like a more futuristic kind of like RoboCop sort of vibe, I would say. I don't know. It didn't sell it for me like just off the trailer alone, but that's still like a pretty big game, and cool that Switch has that as an exclusive, and definitely want to keep on the radar. But I don't know. It was like kind of the debut trailer, so there isn't too much to dive into there because I think most of the stuff in it was like cinematic stuff instead of like actual gameplay. And for me, as you know, listening to this podcast, I am just a gameplay snob, and I just want to see gameplay. That's all I care about when it comes to these trailers.
Yep.
Let's see. A few other things I'll quickly mention here. I guess so. Smash has the 3.0 update coming announced. I guess coming out before April is what they announced in the trailer. So that's when Joker is going to be coming out, the Persona 5 character, as well as the 3.0 update.
Yeah, no DC Joker.
No DC Joker.
I hate that there's some other person. Why would you name it Joker? I'm not.
I highly doubt DC is the first one to name a character Joker.
Other than the deck of cards, yes. It's not
The
that.
deck of cards did it all.
It's not the first. It's just that like I've never understood someone that's a creative person when there's something that's so out there and famous that you'd be like, I'm gonna name something like that. I'm not saying it couldn't get as big as that,
I
but
don't
you
know,
won't.
maybe it's a translation thing. It's a Japanese game, maybe like
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that update's coming out before April, which I'm happy about because that means I'll get to play it before I leave on my trip.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Joker, and probably I think he's gonna have a stage with him, and then probably some other random stuff here or there. But that's pretty exciting. I wonder what the 3.0 update's gonna do. Probably some more balance changes, which I'm happy about because the last 2.0 patch they did actually had good patch notes. For the first time in like Smash Bros history did they actually have detailed patch notes on like what they changed. So I'm glad that they've turned that leaf. Let's see, what are some other ones I want to highlight here? Oh, Yoshi's Crafted World is coming out March 29th, so I don't know if that had an official release date, but it does now. And I totally forgot about this, but they actually released like a demo for it, and I downloaded it and forgot about it, so I haven't played that yet. But hopefully by the next newscast I'll play through that and I'll give you a little what my 2 cents are. And I think it's just the first level of the game, so not too far into
Well,
it.
the next newscast isn't for like another 2 weeks, so I hope you will.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it. It got bumped down on the list because Smash is up there, and then Tetris 99 is up there, and slowly it's just been getting kicked down, and I guess I just forgot. They're bringing some other games over, such as Dead by Daylight is coming out, Hellblade, Grid Auto Sports. So just a few games I guess they're bringing from either the Wii U or just other consoles over. Then there's a bunch of other stuff like Dragon Quest getting a couple new games. Some Starlink DLC. Ononaki, interesting games. It's from the lead, I think it's the lead designer from the creator of Chrono Trigger. So that's on my radar strictly from that because Chrono Trigger is one of the most creative games of all time. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it from the Direct. There's a few other random little things, but I don't really have much to say on them personally. So. And okay, so some other things we got here. This wasn't in the Direct. This is all just other stuff. But Hollow Knight, which was a indie game, Metroidvania that came out in I think it was summer of 2017. It's a game I've been playing the first one over the last couple months. It's a really, really good game. There's always been like talks, rumors of like a DLC coming for it, but instead of DLC, they decided to just make like a fully fledged new game coming out. And you play as like one of the characters that's in the first game, but she plays a lot differently. Like the way she, like I think it's mostly like the movement is a lot different than the original character. So it's just new world, like hundreds of new like enemy types and weapons and all that stuff. New character to play around with. So that's really cool. Hollow Knight is it's such a creative game. It's like a Metroidvania, but it has like a lot of Souls-like, Dark Souls inspired features like input into it, which is like a really interesting amalgamation. So I'm very excited for this game. This is now just like jumped up huge on my radar of like games I'm excited for. Definitely in like my top 5 now because that game is definitely pretty unique. So I'm glad that they announced that. It's doesn't have a release date yet, but that's definitely pretty exciting. So it's already the end of February, but I wanted to mention the new games for February of NES, like the NES for Switch. They finally added Mario Bros. 2. Super Mario Bros. 2, which I'm really excited about because that's like it's such an underappreciated game because it's so different than Mario Bros. 1 and 3. It's such a strange game, but I don't know. It's been fun to like play that game again because it's such a classic. And then they also added Kirby's Adventure. I'm pretty sure that's the first Kirby game. And then the PS4 games for this month were Hitman, the complete first season. Have you played through that, Joe?
I have not played through it, but I have downloaded and I will be playing it in 2028.
Someday.
When I get through that game. But I'm happy I downloaded because I was very excited for that game. You can go back.
I want to give it a try.
Yeah, you can go back to a few E3s. I think when it was announced. I think it was maybe it was the first E3 or doing stuff. I can't remember. But me and Kirkland were very excited. I actually pre-ordered it that day. But then when they announced it was an episodic game instead of the actual game, I took away the pre-order. People then went in and said it was a great game, but I didn't want to just spend the money on something that was new territory. But I've heard good things. I know there's a season 2 out, so I'm going to try at some point because Hitman is one of my favorite franchises. I don't know if it's top 10, but it's up there. It's so much fun.
It's pretty good fun. Like, they're fun games, and like it takes a lot of thinking, a bit of thinking, and
the first few times. And then once you played through it, you're just a boss. If you ever come back to it, you're just like, I know where this guy's hiding, I know where to hide this boss. You know, but that's where it is. It's like a fun little puzzle game that is like being a Hitman, though, you know, and it has a very loose narrative, even though I liked Absolution for the 360 and PS3. It had like it was primarily story, so I'm excited to try it at some point. I'm still working my way through God of War and Red Dead. I'm done the story of Red Dead. I'm just making
so much side quest stuff.
Yeah, and online. You know,
online.
I gotta get better at this knife throwing competitions. So.
The other game that is For Honor, which is like that kind of Viking ninja game that is like always a game that I thought looked interesting but could never justify purchasing like fully. So I still haven't downloaded it because my PS Plus got glitched out and I have to get it again. It's been a real struggle, but I hope I'm gonna try and get it before the end of the month so I can download those games because I want to like play a couple matches of For Honor and just give it a try. Yeah, I want to try it too. It's been so long that my hype for it has definitely gone down. But I remember seeing it and being like, because it was the E3 that Liam joined us on. It was one of our first, and everyone else really liked it. It's like it looks fun, but I'm like, it looks very basic too, you know. So I was like, I would never pay for this. Yeah, and then you have the March games there as well. No, what are they? They're Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, which I'm just gonna download for the shit of it, and also for Gauntlet because I imagine it could be used there. And then The Witness, which I've always wanted to try. Yeah. Because I heard it was a fun puzzle game, but I was never gonna spend $60 to $80 on it. But I remember when it came out, there was so much hype about it, and I almost bought it because Emily. The types of games she plays are kind of that sort of on there, and she plays Friday the 13th. My most played PS4 game was Friday the 13th because of her. I got that email at the end of 2019. Nice. But so I'm interested in it, and now it's PS Plus. That's a perfect download. It's something I might try, not complete the whole thing, but you will almost certainly not complete the whole thing. It's a fucking crazy game. Yeah, I don't think I will, but just to try it out, and you know, if I ever have time off again from work, maybe I will. But I'm excited. They've got some good games. It's a very interesting game. I was not into it. It only took me like a couple hours before I was like, I don't want to ever play this game again. Oh, so you've actually played it? I've played it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it. Like really, just. It's worth playing a little bit for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try it. Just see if I like it or not. You know. Definitely like, if you're a couple hours in and you're not enjoying it, maybe like ask me and I'll give you like a couple suggestions on how to like spice it up a bit or something. But it's definitely an interesting game from a mad scientist of a game developer for sure. So And yeah, honestly, Call of Duty, that's pretty exciting for me. I haven't played Call of Duty in forever just because like there's no way I'm gonna buy a new one. But Modern Warfare, I mean that game that game got me heated. You know, I have big respect for that game. It was one of my favorites. I played that a ridiculous amount, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, they've put out some good PS Plus games.
And I'm assuming for Call of Duty that will be like online as well too. This
yeah,
year.
the whole game,
the whole shebang
for free. Well, for your subscription.
For your subscription.
Yeah, the online. So.
Yeah, I think I saw that on Xbox Game Pass as well too.
Oh, of course.
Potentially, so I might do that. We'll see.
Give it a go, man.
But I've been just playing Ghost Recon essentially.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm into.
Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
The only other thing from me is they had a Pokemon Direct yesterday.
Yeah.
It was so short and there was only one game in it, so I really don't understand why they didn't just like put it into the Nintendo Direct that happened. Like I know they kind of do their own things now,
yeah.
but I feel like it makes sense if you're going to talk about 3 or 4 different Pokemon games, but if you're just announcing a new one, like I feel like that kind of should have been part of the Nintendo Direct. But anyway, they announced the new the Switch era fully fledged Pokemon games. Sword and Shield are the 2 versions coming out late 2019. I honestly thought it was like a pretty good display. Like I liked the look of the game.
Yeah,
I like the display. They showed like the whole map. I thought it looked really good. And honestly, for the first time in a long time, they showed like off the 3 starters, and like 2 of them I'm like, oh, I really like the look of these guys, and I definitely like. I'm probably gonna pick up one of these games now because the thing with Pokemon for me is like I'm definitely not a diehard fan by any means, but I like to play it like once every few years. I like to jump in and like play another one because they don't really change. It's always pretty much the same game with like new looking Pokemon and new high quality graphics, but it's like it's the same formula every single time, so I don't need to pay for it every time, especially when there's 2 versions. But I think this might be the one where I jump back in and give it a go, especially because I'm just on that Switch hype train right now.
You may as well. This is the first Pokemon console game in quite a while, or even is this kind of the first technical one of like
the classic RPG?
Yeah, I think it's the first time.
Yeah, I don't
right?
think Wii U had one, so.
Well, what did have one?
What did?
Yeah, I'm trying to think because.
Well, the 3DS had like 4.
No, for just consoles. I mean.
Oh.
Like it's 64. That's for.
I can't remember the last time they've done like a handheld one, right? Because that's kind of where they have those kind of games, and then they put like your Pokins and stuff.
Didn't they have like I guess this would have been N64 of just like a Pokemon Battle Royale almost?
Like a Pokemon Stadium. Yeah. But that's what I'm trying to think. I don't think they've ever had the proper 3DS one.
I mean, they recently had like obviously Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, whatever they're called on the Switch, and those are like different style games for sure. It's more about just like catching Pokemon, I think, instead of actually like having the full RPG.
Like Pokemon Go and everything like that.
Right. Yeah. So. And I mean that's already different enough in its own sense, and that was on the Switch as well. But I think it's because this kind of gameplay really does translate really well to handheld consoles. Now that the Switch is a hybrid, I think it's perfect, and I'm excited for it. And I think it was a good display by them, and I think they should have put it in the Nintendo Direct. But that's the only thing for me.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm excited for Jessica and Taylor. I will definitely. You're not as big a fan as them. I'm definitely gonna implore them to. Please talk about it in their own chat, because I've always said this. Pokemon was out of my life until this podcast started, and as somebody that's just kind of
I don't know how.
Well, it's just because no one knew about it, no one talked about it. I'm not a big fan. I find them kind of annoying, and just the fact you got the movie coming out, you got this main game. I just know I'm just gonna be hearing about it for like the next 2 years for sure, as far as like talking about all the time. So I'm just not looking for that. I'm happy for every single one of you that loves Pokemon, but as a person, just think about something that annoys you, and it's like, here comes a movie, here comes the first one in a long time main console game. It's like, man, I'm gonna have to hear so much about this. So
a week or 2 will blow by.
Oh, here comes Travis being a Debbie Downer.
I am. It's just, oh boy, but good for you guys. I think last story I have, and Kyle, you can go first in this one, because you've been playing backseat there for a little bit. So there is a rumor going around, and it's come from a lot of good sources, and then the second rumor is kind of more iffy, but there's a rumor going on that Xbox/Microsoft is thinking about putting the Game Pass on Nintendo Switch, and then after that kind of goes through, that they might even put that on the PS4. Apparently the first game that's rumored to happen is Ori and the Blind Forest, but eventually there is plans for the Halos, the Gears, all to go on the Switch. Obviously they will be down as far as resolution and quality, stuff like that.
Yeah. But
that is the plan. So Kyle, I want to ask you, because you're almost like today, Mr. Xbox. That's all you get home. Let's PS4
Mr.
controller.
Xbox.
My PS4 controller hurts my hand. I can't play it.
My thumbs, actually.
Your thumbs,
They
exactly.
slip every time, yeah.
So what do you think about that? And what do you think about maybe the potential reality of in 5 years there's maybe not even a Xbox console and they're more just like a big time developer? That's still far down the cards, but this could be something in that sort of reign happening. What do you think about them putting their stuff on the Switch?
I'm kind of speechless. I don't know what to think about that, just because I guess all of these consoles and have their own little niche market that they've kind of developed, but PlayStation and Xbox is really like kind of blended in together. Of like they're almost like they have similar games, like a lot of cross
PlayStation,
platforms.
Xbox?
Well, they have a lot of cross-platform games, but then
I don't see no Spider-Man on Xbox, Kyle.
yeah, but there's so many other more games that are cross-platform, so it doesn't even matter.
I know, I'm just
Well, I'd say it matters.
Well, it
definitely
does
matters.
Well, it does matter because obviously PlayStation, like Sony's doing a lot better in sales than Xbox is, and
Right.
maybe they're looking at a route. It's like, okay, maybe we've kind of peaked and we need to go somewhere else instead of, well, what do we need to make better? And if their thinking is, well, these subscriptions are doing really well, like everyone's buying them into it. Like you look at, like even like Netflix subscriptions or Amazon, like now you want it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of the way of the future, and they're thinking further ahead, and they can save money by not producing, Xbox games anymore and just putting it cross-platform. Then I guess like in a business strategy is great, but like as someone who likes Xbox and Microsoft, like those type of games exclusive, it kind of sucks because you want that, but
you can just get a PS4 and then like eventually maybe play
If
all
it
the
doesn't
games
happen,
on
it's-
PS4.
if this all happens, right?
Yeah.
I think for me it's like I didn't think about it like immediately, but I think about it more. It seems like a natural progression because they did, they've started over the last couple of years rolling out like most of their games onto PC as well.
Yeah.
And so for people like me and Briggs, it's like, okay, well now we have no reason to buy like an Xbox. Like I have zero reason to buy an Xbox at this point, and like this kind of fits because now there's a way for like Xbox to get my money. Like I'll buy into this Game Pass, get a bunch of games. I'd love to play Crackdown on my Nintendo Switch. Give it to me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense, and I think obviously we've seen like a big focus they've had in the last two E3 presentations is check out all these developers we've acquired. They're showing off like just 58 studios that they have that are Xbox. Like we have these guys. Like where are the games? Nobody knows, but we have these guys. They're working for us, and they just acquired Obsidian, and they're like a really big team. So I don't know. I think whatever strategy they're going for, like. It's a different direction for sure, and maybe this doesn't mean it's the end of their console. Maybe they just maybe instead of trying to compete and do a console every 4 or 5 years and keep up with Sony's pace, maybe instead they just do a console every like 10 years or something. They just really focus on like making these sick games and making Game Pass like a really a service that you can't not have and get everybody on it. So I don't know. I'm really interested because I like it's interesting like seeing this like slow shift that Xbox has been doing, like from their E3 performances and stuff. There's always that question of like where are the games exactly, but like I don't know, maybe they're just like working on the infrastructure behind it all, and then I don't know, maybe they'll just take off like before we can even see it coming. I'm curious. It's really interesting as like a Switch owner, like it's really interesting. I can obviously play a few other games on PC already, but I mean, just giving me more option, I'm not gonna complain, right?
Yeah, but like look at like a business like side of it as well too. You no longer have to make consoles. Like you save money on
Very
doing that
expensive.
and like developing
Technology.
like specifically for like I guess your type. But meanwhile, like there's already like a couple consoles out there. You might as well just be like the big boss who like, hey, you want to buy like all of our games or rent our games, then you just go through us, but you can still keep your favorite consoles or whatever that you want to use. And I feel like you're gonna get more reach at all the people instead of only one subject area. And I think like it's not actually like now thinking it's not that bad of an idea. It sucks for me who I enjoy Xbox and Microsoft and what they do and their platform, and I use it more as a home entertainment system than just an actual gaming system.
Right.
And I feel like every time I come to Travis's house and have to go on the PlayStation, just because like I don't play it much, but I don't find it as like smooth and as nice as the Microsoft one, because it's more set up as like a computer essentially. Or like
I agree. Like I've always much preferred the Xbox like 360 just layout, like the home screen. Like I still get lost going through my PS4 menu like often. I think the Xbox menu is a lot better for sure.
And like even when you go through, like, it's like the Xbox One is just, their platform is just more like entertainment, like movies, games, YouTube, like streaming, and it doesn't really seem like it's very game heavy. It's more of, look at all the other stuff that we do, and like, yeah, the Game Pass is amazing because you could play whatever you want, but then the console is just like a way to get into that. But I see them going bigger with that.
That's where I could see them delving into something where maybe they do consoles less often, or maybe they make it like, so their console is essentially just a way to have, like, you know, your home system, but also like really have it integrated with VR and make that like an essential thing. So they're like intrinsically connected, and then like maybe there isn't as many exclusive games, but then, you know, you have access to the VR and all the like hope and entertainment stuff, and it's laid out like really nicely. And maybe that could be their focus as well, because VR is still like kind of undetermined what the future is going to be, because obviously Nintendo is like still not jumped into that side of the ring, and Sony and like I guess the HTC Vive, like they're all kind of doing their own thing, but it still is like just figuring out what this technology is going to be.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe Xbox has a big plan for that.
Yeah, but like even like Xbox, like I think you even step back and you go back to more Microsoft itself. It's a huge computer platform essentially, and these consoles essentially are just computers. So if you're selling the software, you could just sell the software to like Nintendo Switch, to PlayStation, and it's not any different. It's just another device to get onto it. And so I think at that aspect is even, I guess, better as a business for Microsoft to do than just to keep it in just their one little Xbox.
And like for Nintendo as well, because their console, their Switch is like a cheaper purchase than something like the newest, freshest Xbox One X, X1, whatever the fuck it's called, and PS75, you know, whatever it is. Like, it's always like cheaper, so it's like people can go in there, play those Xbox games from like a cheaper console. And yes, you're not gonna be able to play all of them because Switch has, you know, much more. It doesn't have as many teraflops, you could say, as an Xbox console. But still, like, there's a lot of games that, you know, you otherwise wouldn't have played. Like, I'd love to play Crackdown 3, but there's no way in hell I'm buying an Xbox to get it. But who knows? If I can play it on my Switch, you got my money, Xbox. I'll do it.
Yeah, it's just a really interesting time. I can't wait to see where we are in the next 2, 3, 5 years with gaming. Because to me, and this is not me saying it's going to die, and I think I agree with Dylan more, because I try to play out of, okay, what if they just become the big-time developer and they're just putting games out? But then the same day, you still want a way for people to get your games if they're not, like, because if they don't get a Switch, and let's say you stop making consoles, then it's like, well, either you have to develop to everybody, or you still gotta have a console, right? So maybe they will. My idea is still kind of what they've been doing is...
You have to expect that not everyone's gonna want a PC. Like, you're never gonna be a PC gamer. Maybe someday, but definitely not tomorrow, or definitely not next year. And there's always gonna be people like you.
They say they announce an exclusive PC Batman game, then I'm there. But what was I gonna say? And the thing is, I think they will take the route that they've been doing recently, where the consoles they'll put out are like for the high-end people to be like, oh, if you really care about
4K,
4K and graphics and all the flops, you know, like they always say they're the best in console gaming from a power perspective. I've never cared about that, but it is. If you do care about that, then they'll continue that way. So it's just fascinating.
That is a good distinction, right? Because for me, it's like that power doesn't matter if I don't have interesting games to play on it. But for a lot of people who, from like the home entertainment perspective, people who have 4K TVs, like that is a big thing. It is important.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they're going away, but it's even if they lessen consoles and things like that. Obviously, I was alive for it, but I always just thought for the rest of my life it was always just going to be Xbox, PlayStation, like going back and forth. But really, there was a time where Sega and Nintendo were doing that, and Sega was just gone, you know. And that's where I think Xbox is taking steps to be like. Because who knows, maybe they do another console generation and maybe it switches back to them, right? They were kind of running last one. But let's say it doesn't. Let's say they go another one where they're just not selling as well. PlayStation's still running the game. I think they're trying to build a bridge to, okay, you know, if this one ends up breaking, we still have this bridge over here, and that's licensing out their game, their services. They're really jumping on. You can go back, I've said this for a while, that I was waiting for someone to do the Netflix of games, and they're doing that. And if they can do that, they are doing that with third parties, but they'll do that with their first parties. If they can make that a huge service, because PlayStation has PS Now, but it hasn't been the same. It's just PS3 games. There are a lot of problems. I've never personally tried it out. I've always wanted to, but I've just never heard the greatest things. I've heard it's fine, but I think with this, that's the way everything's going, right? You look at Disney's apps coming out. Everything's becoming an app. I don't have cable. I'm sure in a few years everyone will not have cable. There's not going to be Blu-rays and DVDs. Samsung I think this week or last week just announced they're officially not making Blu-ray players anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's that turn is happening. So it's exciting to see what they'll do. And I think that's what they're doing. They're making steps to see, okay, we don't want to just completely go out of business and just put all our money into consoles or whatnot. I do think they will make still exclusive games. They bought all these studios, and I think they're trying to make a good wave. My question still is, is there going to be times where a game may come out and they might say this is still exclusive for Xbox? I don't know. We'll have to see, because if they have a really great game, let's say people are raving about it, do you want to just give that out for $10? Because so far, what they've given out, right, Crackdown 3, that
they probably expected it wasn't going to sell that well.
Yeah, like so far, it's going to be probably when Halo comes out, when that's on there. But even then, I feel like Halo's kind of ran its course as far as being a big console seller, right? You need a Last of Us, you need them to get an exclusive Marvel, you need something. I'll be interested then if they get some big game that's new, it's a IP, and they're just running game with it, and if they just have it for $10 and you can get it, so... I don't know.
They definitely need something big and surprising like Sony has been doing, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm interested in. When that happens, is that a $10 game then? That's still
they need something like an Anthem showing, but then it needs to actually be there.
Yeah, because you look at what Netflix does. They have big movies come out, and they don't like raise the price. They don't make us say, "Oh, for this one you got to pay $5 more," right? It's just the same price every time, and maybe they'll take that approach, and that's why they got PlayStation. The other thing I'm interested, if Xbox isn't so much in the console making business, how does this affect PlayStation and PS5 as far as getting that out there, right? Because before I always thought, I think we all felt it's like a console race, but now if Xbox that's not their main prerogative, does PlayStation need to rush to get to that PS5? Because PS4 is still selling.
Their formula definitely can change up, right?
Yeah, we still got lots of games. Days Gone's coming out, Death Stranding, so I just can't wait to see. E3 I think will be good this year, but I'm not expecting much from E3 with PlayStation gone. I think everyone's saying Xbox is going to have this knockout conference. I don't think it's happening. I think everyone's going to take it pretty easy this year and just kind of have a good conference. I don't think it's going to be like a panties dropping conference for anybody. Maybe Bethesda because they need to win some people back.
They're going to show us Starfield. It's going to be sick. I think people are going to be raving over it.
I hope it's going to be sick, but
I think it will. That's my.
You never know.
They're also going to have some untimely joke about Fallout 76, and people are going to be like, you're accepting that, you released an unfinished game, but what are you actually going to do about it? Hopefully they have the answer to that question.
And then a band.
But I think Starfield's going to, I'm highly predicting, I'm not going to have the ego and say Dylan told you or anything like this, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to announce Starfield, they're going to say it's coming out in November, and it's going to be a badass showing, and everyone's going to buy it. That's my prediction.
I hope. I'm ready for it.
If they show me Elder Scrolls, I'm done. They're not going to show it. But if they do, I'm done.
Anything else before we get out of here?
Oh, not much.
No.
It's been good to have you back, Kyle.
Thank you.
I hope you make more of these. It's fun.
I will make more of these.
Are you possibly moving to Australia in a month or two?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I'm going to say if he moves to Australia, we're not going to be hearing from him. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Whether you're on video or audio, please subscribe. You got all the links down below so you can find us wherever you want for our needs. Head over to Twitter and Facebook, like and follow us, because the DC polls are starting tomorrow. That's going to be a big thing. We got a bunch of reviews dropping. Gauntlet will be coming back. The best way to stay in tune to what we're doing is just go to our social media, because that's where we drop. We all got jobs, we got school, so we don't got a solid schedule nowadays. Everybody's all over the map. So we try our best, but that's the best way. And if you want to help us out, if you like what we do, head over to iTunes, head over to all those audio feeds, YouTube. Please subscribe, like, review. That helps us a lot. If you really want to help us, head over to Patreon and go to there's an After 9 there. $1, you get half the content. $5, you get all the content. There's some good stuff right now. Green Lantern Retro, X-Men, when we were filming that, you'll be able to get those early. So thank you very much for tuning in. When you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Later.
Oh.